Welcome back to Ladies Let's Talk Business. Let me pull my mic in so y'all can hear me good today because we have an amazing guest, Miss Zii Davis. Now, if y'all don't know about Zii, honey, this woman has made moves in music, beauty, and now she is an author, honey, The Mental Gym. Zii, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Like I told you earlier, I have always loved you, Zii. You have always been an inspiration. And so, as much as I love you, I want the people to know about you so they can love you just as much and support the Mental Gym and your music.
Thank you.
So, let's go to the very beginning.
All right.
For those who don't know you, tell us, who is Zii Davis?
Well, my introduction has changed over the years. I feel like I have lived probably about 5 to 6 lives by this time. But at the core, I'm a woman of faith. I am now a mother of a sweet girl, and I am a believer. Beyond anything, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe in His love and His sovereignty. And now I am on a mission to really push that message forward. But also, I'm a woman with purpose. I feel like God really did a number on me to empower and uplift and equip women. I'm a teacher at my core, and I am a full-on creative. So at the core of everything that I do, although I'm an entrepreneur, that entrepreneurship is birthed out of creativity.
I love it.
Yeah.
And ladies, I'm telling you, stay tuned through this whole episode. Zii is definitely going to help you through because your faith, and we'll get into that in a little while, but this woman's faith, oh my God, just from the posts you make or just me being around you, to me, that's so inspiring. I think that's the thing that I love. You can just be around a person, you can feel stuff. I think that's the thing that has always gotten me about you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's go back.
Let's go back.
You've been in music,
way back,
the beauty industry,
yes,
and business. Go back to makeup, because that's when I first met you doing makeup. Tell us about your journey through makeup and then how it led to the music industry.
What's interesting is that's kind of when I first met myself, if
Really?
that makes sense. So I started modeling a while ago, and during my modeling days is when I had to learn how to do my makeup for stage. And I just ended up being a girl backstage that could do makeup a little bit better than everybody else. So I was slapping on eyeshadow left and right for everybody before the shows. And then I got to one specific show, and shout out to Prep Curry. Prep had a fashion show, and he had some makeup artists back there. And there was one in particular. If she walked past me today, I wouldn't know who she was. But everybody that got out of her chair, Lord forgive me, but they didn't look good at all. And in my mind, I said, whoa, if she can get paid for that,
surely I can.
Surely, goodness and mercy, I can get paid to do the little that I know how to do.
Yeah.
But it was from that day forward at this show, and this was probably back in 2012. And I just kind of went forward from that day on. I had one of my peer models, and she said, Zii, can you please take me to the bathroom and do my makeup? And I did it. And when I stepped back and looked, I grew a sense of confidence, and I said, well, I think we need to grow this. And I started learning about skin and foundation and complexion. And this was back in the day when YouTube was a fun place. It was a place of learning and education. And I just got down to the nitty gritty and started learning and practicing. And so that's when I became a makeup artist. But it's also the time when I started exploring really what life was about.
Okay.
It was really a time where I started discovering, man, this can be a career. Although it feels like a hobby now and I'm exchanging, money for service, I really didn't understand the entrepreneurial world.
Gotcha.
My family is full of entrepreneurs, but I never saw it like that. I never saw it as the language was not there. I had the visual and I was around it, but I didn't know the language around what they were doing. I just knew my auntie had a restaurant or my auntie had a daycare, but I never thought of it, oh, they're entrepreneurs.
Right.
So it was the time where I kind of discovered entrepreneurship. I discovered my purpose. I discovered life outside of the American dream. I had graduated from college. I graduated with 2 degrees and had no idea what I was going to do
with them. So what do you have your degrees in?
So my 2 degrees are in English for corporate communications. Okay. And then my second degree is in organizational psychology. So it's really human resources in so many words. It's kind of like how people go to therapy. They put themselves on the couch, but organizational psychology is when you put a business on a couch and you figure out the ins and outs of their business to make it stronger or better.
Okay. Well, you kind of use that with being an entrepreneur. In
a sense, but in my spirit and in my mind, I remember nothing from school.
I don't think we... Listen, Quizlet got me through college, okay? I don't remember anything from college.
So that's kind of where it started. That is where I kind of picked up my entrepreneurial footing. I started learning about business. I started learning about women. I was around so many women doing their makeup, being in their face, hearing their stories, feeling their personality. That's when I learned how to be a chameleon. That's when I learned how to be an encourager. And I kind of found my footing when I started in makeup.
Wonderful. So in makeup and just in the beauty industry, period, what's a misconception you think people have about the beauty industry?
Ooh. Well, that depends on from what standpoint.
Okay.
Because if you're wanting to go into the beauty industry to make money, that's one side. And then if you are an everyday woman looking at the beauty industry, that's another point. So a common misconception from the beauty industry from a professional standpoint is that there has to be some sort of struggle or friction in your business. When you really get a chance to tailor your business to your lifestyle, you get to tailor your business to how you want to live and how you want to enjoy your craft. A lot of times you feel like you have to suffer for the dollar and you don't. You get to really tailor that and use your creativity, but you have to understand your value first. You have to understand what you contribute and build your confidence in that in order to tailor it. Now, on the everyday woman side, I think a common misconception is that the tiniest bit of makeup is going to be the best makeup, and that's not true. And that's for me. You know, that's what I see when I teach women, when I come in contact with them. And it's like, no, actually, you have to learn how to layer the makeup and really learn the product so that you can get the look that you actually really want.
Products are key.
They are.
It took me a while to realize that, but products are key. And I've learned that sometimes the most expensive product doesn't do well for my skin.
Now you talk.
And the cheapest don't do well because it's going to fade. I turn red. So I've learned good products now. Putting on lashes. I still ain't got that together yet. So, but like I said, layering your makeup products, that's important.
It is.
Very. So, music. Walk us through that.
So, like I said, makeup is really where I found myself, and that's kind of where the branches on that tree started to grow. And so one of those branches became empowerment and encouragement. So it started with my empowerment brunch. I had a brunch called Rock Your Crown. And at Rock Your Crown, it was a safe space for women to dream like never before. So we created vision boards, and then they got poured into from different speakers or different activities. And from that, I started learning affirmations in that era of my life. I went to a real estate conference or meeting, and this lady, she taught me 3 affirmations, and it never left me. And it was, you are wanted, you are worthy, and if you try, you will succeed. I had never heard anything like that before. And it was transformational because I realized that although you can be surrounded in a positive atmosphere, there are things that you must speak into yourself. And something happened to me in that room when I kept repeating, you are wanted, you are worthy, and if you try, you will succeed. And I needed more of that. But when I would search for affirmations, it was boring. I said, y'all about to put me to sleep in here. Y'all about to rock about baby. And I needed something that I could move to, groove to, because I grew up around music. I grew up around certain sounds and certain beats. So I'm very well versed in different genres. I enjoy music, but I couldn't find anything that spoke to me, but also uplifted me at the same time. So I just had to fill in the gap, because that's what entrepreneurs do.
Yes.
We find the solution. And I started recording and trying different sounds and trying different beats, and some of those affirmations turned into songs, which then birthed Crowned Affirmations, which is the album. And I call that album a dedication to entrepreneurs who are chasing their dreams.
And I think that's why it resonated so much with me, baby. I know it went platinum in my car. Like,
if nowhere else, it went platinum in your car.
And I'm telling you, wow, like when I would get ready, getting up, go to work, I would put it on because it was getting me through the day, number one. And then as I was chasing, my dream of being an entrepreneur, it fed me what I needed at the moment, because I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to go to that job, but to have this affirmation playing in the background is helping me get my day started. Like, platinum. You went platinum, girl.
I love it.
So with that, we're gonna get into your book.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself continuing in music, because it is based on affirmations and on being purpose-driven?
Yes. So a lot of what I do, there is a churchy word called an unction. There's a feeling or a push from God that I get to do certain things. And in that season, it was just a super push to get this out, to finish this, because it can be very challenging to focus yourself and sit down to do a project. And that was a project that I feel like God pushed me to do. I have had ideas in the music space of how I wanted to, again, branch out in that lane. But until I get that push to drive my energy in that specific space, then I'll wait and see how it goes. But I do have some ideas where I want to expand in that area.
You're going to be led by the Lord.
I will be led.
Yes. So for your album, Crowned Affirmations, so the people can go listen, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song is Money Up.
Okay.
Now, people love Belief, which is the 5th track, but Money Up is the 9th track. And Money Up, I was just a little, I was in my bag when I wrote that. When I penned that song, I was in my bag. I was trying my best to put everything I needed as far as being a good steward, as far as being investing, all of the biblical principles that I was learning about finances, I was trying to put it in that song in a way that resonated with my spirit, but it was also true. It was something that was almost like a financial lesson in those words. So I love that song. Money Up is my favorite.
All right. Y'all go listen to Money Up so y'all can get y'all money up too,
Period.
Okay? All right now. So let's go to the mental gym, honey. What inspired this book?
So, not long ago, I lost my daughter's father. We were engaged to be married. And when he was killed, of course, my world was shattered. There were, there's just a difference between losing a grandparent versus a partner. And when you are making a decision to partner with somebody for the rest of your life, you are building together, you are dreaming together, you are working towards a communal goal together. And it's no longer, especially when you get engaged.
Right.
When you get engaged, there's a switch in your mind that goes off, and it's like, oh, we for real.
We locked in.
Yeah, we locked in. And ain't no switching up. So you go in with a different mentality of togetherness. And when that vision of what your life is about to be like is shattered, now you have to figure out, how do I rebuild? Not even pick up the pieces, because even if you picked up the pieces and put it back together, that space no longer functions without that person.
Exactly.
So that vision, now you have to be okay with grieving not just the person, but there's secondary losses that come with it, which is the vision, which is your routine, which is how you move and how you operate. And then there's also the physical sorrow and and sadness that you experience, and that a lot of people are not able to push past. A lot of people are not able to have the resilience to dream again, to live again, to move and operate. And mind you, my daughter was 4 months at the time, not even 4 months. She was 2 days shy of being 4 months. So here I am, postpartum, planning a funeral, and also trying to figure out the future. And I was able to gather myself enough to share my experience in grief on social media. And I think I chose to do that because I never knew what it would feel like in that space. I thought when you lost a partner, every day is rain. Every day it pours, but there is some laughter in there. There is some sanity in there, especially when you have been working on your emotional intelligence, when you've been working on your mental health, you've been putting these practices into place. It's not always the worst doom day. You know, it feels like it because this instance is the worst case scenario. But every moment is not that. And so I was getting questions and DMs about Zii, like, how is your faith still strong? How are you still showing up? How are you pushing forward? And while not everything was exposed to social media, I did realize, like, man, Zii, you've been training for this. In a weird way. The Lord has been preparing you, but you've been obeying enough in a season where you have been preparing for this. You've been in the field like David. When they were looking for somebody to slay the giant and Goliath came, he had already been in the field practicing. He was a perfect candidate because he when they called him forward, they tried to dress him in armor, in the normal, right? They tried to drape him in all of this these heavy war clothes. And in his mind, this is too much because this is not how I slay every day. This is not how I fight my giants every day. So he was a shepherd in the field before he was even called to be a king or a warrior or a conqueror. And for me, I feel like David in some sense. I've been in the field. I had been in the field. I had followed certain principles that I talk about in the mental gym, but I needed to be able to put that in a way for people to digest it and to practice it. And so even in a time of true uncertainty, a time of grief and sorrow, again, another unction came and God really led me to put it all in this book, The Mental Gym.
I love it. And I love the fact that you stand strong in your faith. But even as a woman of faith, I know when we go through things, our faith is tested at times. Did you ever feel any anger toward God because of what happened? Because of that
baby,
loss?
you feel a lot of things. There's so many emotions. When you lose a partner, which is a loss it's not on your doorstep, it's in your household. You know, it's not grief knocked on my door. No, grief smacked me.
It came in.
It came in.
Yeah.
And when you experience that, there are a lot of emotions that you have with God, but this is where you are tested in what you have claimed to believe. You know, you are still human and God knows that, but you are tested. So yes, there's anger, there's bitterness, there's anger at God. You even find yourself getting angry at the person that died because when he was alive, and like I told you, you know, I'm too unserious sometimes for certain things. I would tell him when he was alive, if you die on me, I'll kill you. And you actually died on me.
Yeah.
So now I'm mad at you for dying on me. So there are a lot of emotions and feelings that you feel when it comes to loss, and not just of a person, but of anything. You can lose a job and be mad at God. You can lose your home and be mad at God. You can have a car accident and be mad at God because God could have made you. You could have made them swerve. You know, because He is a sovereign God. He can control all things. So you have all of these questions. However, one of the things that I stick to is having an anchor, right? So you have core beliefs that although you may go out into the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
you are anchored back to a core belief and a core system or core principle. So while, yes, I'm angry and I know that God can control these things and I'm mad at why didn't you fix it this way, I also know He's Alpha and Omega.
Mm-hmm.
I also know He's the beginning and the end, that He's writing my story from front to back, and not just my story, but my daughter's story.
Yes.
She came into this world not asking to be born, but she already has her own testimony, and I can't control that because God is her dad more than I'm her mother. So I think that when you ask me about, was I angry at God? Absolutely. Of course I was. I was mad at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You experience those because you are human.
But I think for those of us who've been in church, raised in church, we're always taught not to question God,
which is crazy.
But
wild.
I think that for me, when I've had things happen, it's like, you don't question God. And then when I was mad at God, I didn't even know, I didn't have the words to say, hey, I'm mad at God because of X, Y, Z, because we're taught, don't question, don't be mad, you just roll with it. But it goes back to, like you said, having those core beliefs and then having the emotional intelligence to really think it through. Like, yeah, it's okay to have those feelings and to have questions when it comes to God, I believe.
Absolutely. I think it's all about what relationships really are. And some people are so spiritual that they are no earthly good.
What I say earlier, in Jesus 24/7.
All
How?
the time. and I think nothing is wrong with it as long as you have balance and you can understand that while He is holy and He is our Father, He is also our friend. Friendships are not built without conversation. Friendships are not built without asking questions or getting deeper in something. I have to ask Him questions so He can give me answers.
Exactly.
I do need answers.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that carried me through in the beginning is that God was downloading so many answers for me. And I can't speak for everyone else that lost Him and in the roles that He played to them. But for me, God was so gracious in giving me so many answers that gave me such a level of peace that surpassed my understanding. While I still felt pain, I still felt peace. I did not feel like in some moments, which your mind and your body, they co-work and they team together where one can't let go of the other, and you kind of have to fight through those thoughts of, man, the Lord is forsaking me. You said you would never leave me or forsake me, but here you are. I feel like you left. So your spirit has to fight that and re-anchor yourself. But in the end, there's a way that God is showing up for me. So when you say, man, you're such a woman of faith, I don't have another choice. I don't have another option, because without that, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything that I can lean on, depend on, stand firm in, because there is never, not one time that the Lord has not shown up for me. I have a track record. I have receipts with the Lord. And when anything happens, I can still say I am favored, I am loved, I am blessed, because I can run them receipts. Now, I can't speak for nobody else. And everybody else, you can bow to the moon, stars, Allah, and light your sage. But for me, in my house,
we're going to serve the Lord.
We're going to serve the Lord.
Okay, my mother-in-law.
All right.
every Sunday, we got dinner today, and at the end of every grace, she had my daughter say, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord.
Right.
So, yes, ma'am, we are going to serve the Lord.
That's right.
Serving the Lord and with your book.
Yes.
There's someone else that's grieving, going through, whether it's the loss of a loved one, as you said, a job, or wherever that loss is. What's the exercise or what's something they can take from your book to help them through?
So two things. So the core of being inside of the mental gym, let's talk about the physical gym.
Mm-hmm.
The core of going to the gym is repeated exercise, right? So if you're going to do squats, you're going to do that squat repeatedly because it's breaking down an old muscle and rebuilding a new muscle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do lifts or you're lifting weights, you're breaking down these muscles that are in your arms and you're rebuilding new muscles to make them stronger. And so the core part of the mental gym is really your affirmations and declarations. You have to speak what you want to see. A lot of times we are a product of what we see because of what we've been speaking. And I cannot be who I am today without speaking things into the atmosphere. And it's honestly scientific. But when we open our mouths and we declare things over our families, over our homes, over our bodies, over ourselves, the atmosphere has to change.
It changes.
There's a
Yes.
sound of victory when you can speak victory. Victory seems to just come back to you. There's a sound of joy that when you speak things with joy or positivity, it comes back to you. So there's power in what you say. And if we got to go to the scripture, that is life and death in the power of the tongue. And that word does not fall to the floor. So the core of it is, how do I repeat these things? In school, we did write-offs. Some people in other cities call them lines. But if you talk too much in class, you had to go do your write-offs. I will not talk. I will not talk. And hopefully you wrote it enough where your hand would hurt, but you had that physical pain in your hand to know the next time you open your mouth, you might want to be careful because you're going to go back and have to write that. But it did something and it was ingrained in your system and in your body that, hey, I don't need to talk in class. But imagine if you can do that to change your behavior in a classroom, what you can say to change your feelings, your thoughts. And this is a continuous cycle. When you think something, it produces a feeling.
It does.
And then your feeling goes back to produce another thought. And it continues over and over and over and over again. And when I do affirmations and declarations, it is me thinking about what I'm thinking about. The Bible calls it taking every thought captive. I evaluate what I'm thinking about because I know it's either going to produce a productive feeling or it's going to be an unproductive feeling, which then produces a productive action or an unproductive action. And if I plan to be alive and thrive, I got to do things that are going to be productive.
Yes.
In my thoughts, in my mind, and in my faith. So the exercise that I would say is definitely putting in what I call the reps and repeating what it is that you need to hear in that season.
I love it. I love it. And I would go as far as to say, do that and then go listen to the album. Okay.
Period.
Okay. On your way to work.
Don't forget the album.
On your way to work. We're going to always, I'm telling you, that album, platinum, but it was inspirational. Zii, it was everything. Everything.
That is tickling me. Platinum in your car is
in
good
my car,
to me.
honey, in the Camaro. We zooming down 240, baby, okay? Going to the check advance to go to work.
I love it.
So how has, with your book and knowing that this is purpose-driven work for you 100%, has that changed the way you view success at all?
So my view of success had to change when I first started going to therapy. And I started going to therapy around 2018 to 2019, and I was working through some perfectionism. And in that, my therapist was just trying to help me to redefine what success meant. And so in that redefining, my new version of success was obedience. And so this was, again, an obedience project. So as far as success, as long as I'm obeying, then great. But the fruit of my obedience, I'm always looking for the fruit. I don't want to do all of this work and then I am depressed, worried, full of anxiety. And it's not that I won't have any fleeting moments of that, but I'm always trying to figure out, man, is this fruitful? Is this going to not just change me from the inside out, but how is this going to impact people who listen, who watch, who are paying attention? Because I feel like I was talking to another friend who is dealing with grief, but she was like, at my highest level of thinking, I can see why God chose me for this. That's in my right mind. And then you go back to the angry moments when you're not at your highest level. But at my highest level, I can see why God would trust me
with this.
Yes. Because there are people who are grieving something, and we are all looking for hope. We're only alive because we got hope that something is going to get better, that something is going to change, that something is going to shift. We're all moving, and we keep waking up just off of one ingredient, which is hope. If I can just believe that I'll make a little bit more money tomorrow, if I can just believe that my husband is around the corner, if I can just believe that if I try a different solution that I'll have a baby, we all wake up with hope. That's the only reason why we keep going. So I would say to anybody who's dealing with it, keep finding your hope. Keep finding your hope. But my idea of success hasn't shifted. It just has expanded. Like, man, how can I be obedient more so God can get more?
Obedient. Break that down, because I know people will say, oh, I'm being obedient to the Lord. And then they still have these questions, or some people just don't know what's being obedient to the Lord means. So share that with the people.
I think obedience is really, it's specific to that person. When you sit still long enough, you know that burning feeling inside of you. You know where you are being convicted. And when I say convicted, meaning that you're uncomfortable doing certain things the same way over and over again. When you do something that you normally do and now it doesn't feel as good. It doesn't taste as good. You don't get this happy feeling anymore like you used to. That's a part of the Lord kind of trying to tap you and get your attention. And so there's a certain conviction about it. You keep going to the same job when you have this great idea that you need to produce, and you have people that you are being pulled towards. All of your resources are here, but you're standing over there. But there's a level of specificity that the Lord uses to get right to you. There is a specific message. He knows how you hear him. He knows somebody can say something to you and that clicks for you. He knows he can put something on a billboard, and when you see it, that'll click to you. So he knows how to get to you. But I think there's a level of conviction that he allows all of us to feel. And when we ignore that, we're running away from the obedient action. We're running away from what we're supposed to be doing, the direction we're supposed to go. And I just think it's different for everybody. So I don't want to make it a golden rule of what that looks like, but just following where you feel that pull. Following where you feel that pull for sure.
Okay. So going back to dealing with living after loss.
Yes.
What does that look like for you now? Because you mentioned earlier, still being able to dream and do and live. So how is that for you after loss now, living and just being?
Living after loss looks like a lot of counseling.
Okay.
So I have been in counseling for a while. And what you have to contend with is all of the unexpected ways in which you didn't feel like you lost, and then something triggers or there's a void that is exposed now, and you're like, dang, I lost that too.
Yes,
and so now you're sad again, and there's all of these waves, we call it waves of grief that you have to ride. Sometimes that wave is calming, and it's just a fleeting kind of calming thought. And sometimes it's crashing. Like, man, why me? There's a level of evaluation you take where you feel like this is so unfair. So for me, living means feeling what I need to feel. We spend so much energy trying to avoid trouble, trying to avoid pain, when really we get through it faster.
You gotta go ahead and feel it. You gotta go through it, baby.
You gotta feel it.
It hurts, but you gotta do it.
When you learn the tools of screaming, writing, journaling, running, exercising, whatever it is that you need to do to heal from that or from that moment, because healing it doesn't have a period. So when you heal in that moment, then you're able to push through. true. So one, it's a lot of counseling and just continuously learning tools to manage how I feel, the way I feel. And then also living after loss is understanding purpose. You cannot, as much as, love sounds amazing, you cannot put your entire being into one person. And I'm not just talking about a partner. I'm talking about even your child, even your parents. You have to live for you. You got to live for you. Because if you don't live for you, when things go, now you're lost.
Yeah.
Because you've spent so much time pouring and putting yourself into other things when you've forgotten about you. And so that's one thing that I thank God about that. When you ask me, who is Z? I know who I am. I know what I stand for. Outside of being a mother, I can go put my mom hat on, which I have to do today. I have to put my mom hat on, but I know how to take it off. I can put my Z hat on and I can go have fun. I can put my Arthur hat on. I can put my speaker, but I know how to take it off because I'm multifaceted and that's okay. So living out the loss just looks like doing my purpose. It just looks like getting back, not even getting back to, but unveiling these new corners of who Z is. So I tried my best to fill my cup. In my book, I talk about filling your cup. And I separated into categories. And one of my favorite categories is my community cup. So who's in my community that I can hang out with? I love to laugh. I want to be a laugh, So I like to hang out with my cousins.
So unserious. I want to be a laugh.
No, I really do. But scientifically, there's chemicals that are released when you laugh because it is the body's natural painkiller. That's what got me through the toughest period of grief was being around family. Like we sang and we laughed. Then we had moments where we cried and then we laughed again. We found something funny, to laugh about, but it's a natural painkiller. So just filling my cup and finding these new corners of who I am constantly becoming in this season. So yeah, life after loss is pushing forward.
So I want you to look into this camera here.
Okay.
And speak to a woman that's in her disruption season. She's going through, whether it's grief or she's just transitioning some parts of her life right now. Pour into her, give her some affirmations, something that's going to help her heal and be able to move forward. Please, ma'am.
Okay. And I believe women and men.
Yes, women and men.
They're paying attention. So I want to let you know that this is natural. What you are experiencing is not a surprise. It is not throwing the Lord off. His arm is not too short for you, and he understands the desires of your heart. He also is close to those who are brokenhearted. And sometimes when we lose things, we are so wrapped and entangled in reasoning. We're trying to reason why this, why that, and I want you to shift your energy. I want you to feel what you need to feel. If it hurts, cry. If it's painful, scream. But remember who you are. You've been a boss before. You've been successful before. You've been joyous before. You've had all these things before. You have a track record of who you are. And I'm telling you, when you focus and you take the time to reaffirm yourself, here's what you need to affirm. That I am loved, I am blessed beyond measure, and I have favor over my life. I am loved, I am blessed beyond measure, and I have favor over my life. The more you say that, the more you can believe that, the more you can receive and see God's blessing. And he'll start shifting your perspective where you won't focus on what you don't have. You'll start focusing on what you do have. And what that does is builds a new joy. It builds a new peace that is beyond your understanding. Now, I'm not negating what happened, what you lost, or what you feel, but I'm telling you, there is purpose in your pain. And the longer you stay down, the more the enemy has power. And you're not weak. You're strong, you're tough, you're a fighter, you're a conqueror, you're victorious, you are an overcomer. You're not weak. So get up, pick up what you know to do. And if there's worship, worship. If there's affirmations, affirm. If there's getting around people who love you, do that. But you will not die in this place. Your life is not over. Your testimony is going to not just save you, but it's going to save generations after you. Somebody is looking for you to make it because they know if you can make it, they can make it. If you can, they can. So get up. Get up. It's time. It's time. You've been down long enough. It's time. It's time to get up.
Well, amen, honey. Okay, if y'all didn't go to church today, that was y'all church. Yeah, I'm about to shout all over the studio.
I know that's right.
Knock over all the cameras.
I know that's no. Don't knock them over. Your brother gonna come get you.
Thank you for that. I know someone that's watching needs that, or someone who's listening, they need that. They need that encouragement, that affirming, that push of faith. So thank you.
Absolutely.
That's why I want to have you on here, man.
Absolutely.
So let's lighten the mood just a little bit. We're gonna do some just for funny.
Okay, let's do it.
So finish this sentence. The mental gym taught me that.
The mental gym taught me that there is actually purpose in pain. It taught me that finishing something, it takes sacrifice. The week that I chose to sit down and finish my book, my daughter got sick and feverish to the point where she had to go to the hospital.
Oh.
And I had to make a decision, girl, you're either going to finish this book this week or you are going to sit here and care for your baby. Now, you have the option to send your baby to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had to do. And it did not make me a bad mother. It did not make me a neglectful mother. It made me one who was emotionally intelligent enough to affirm myself, but also walk through the assignment. So the mental gym just taught me even more resilience.
Perfect. Your go-to hype song when you're getting dressed or getting ready for a big event or day?
My go-to hype song is T.I. Motivation.
Okay.
I just love that song. That era of music, period. That's the one. When you can look me in my eyes and see I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better.
Okay, come on, music artists.
Listen,
come on.
Come on, Tip. TIP. That is my jam. That gets me hype every time.
Okay. Makeup product that you cannot live without.
Whew.
I know you got some good ones. Give the ladies a good product.
One product that I can't live without. Ooh. I can't just have one.
Okay, well, give me two.
So concealer and cream contour. So you can take a cream, as long as that cream is darker, you can contour with that. But without it, you lose the dimension in your makeup, right? So our skin, the center of our face is lighter. The perimeter of our face is darker. So I don't need a foundation. I just need that concealer and I need that darker cream so that I can contour and warm the skin back up. And that keeps you from looking like Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm not Michael Jackson, honey.
Rest his soul.
A dream artist you would love to collaborate with.
Ooh.
It could be makeup, music, whatever.
Oh, okay. Dream artist. You know, I have had experience with quite a few celebrities, and I actually don't have a dream artist I want to work with. I take celebrities now at this point, and we walk the same, we talk the same, we pee the same, we boo boo the same. So.
Your job just make you famous.
That's
it.
That's it.
We all regular folks.
We all regular people. We're just ordinary people.
Okay, John Legend.
Come on.
Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers all day.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I've walked in heels for way too long in my life.
Okay.
And it's so funny. My friend, she sent me a picture of us dancing at her husband's party. And I said, girl, look at the height of our heels. Life has truly humbled us. We used to slay some runways in 6-inch heels like this. And I was looking at that picture. Those heels went down.
Okay.
They're at a 3.5.
Getting lower to the floor.
That's it.
Okay, back to makeup.
Okay.
A bold lip or dramatic lashes? Which one?
It depends on your definition of dramatic. Because there are some lashes that I have we just done lost our mind out here. So give me the bold lip so there will be no discrepancy on the
Gotcha.
lashes.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
When I walk into a room, I want people to feel
loved. I want people to feel loved. I want them to feel encouraged. I want them to feel hope.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Tell us where we can purchase the Mental Gym, and we'll make sure we have the links in our bios on all outlets. So tell us where we can purchase the book, and just tell us if there's anything we miss about the book.
Okay, awesome. So the Mental Gym is available at thementalgymbook.com. You can also purchase it on Amazon as well, but y'all know Amazon is greedy. So the mentalgymbook.com is actually the best place if you want to support a Black-owned author. And you can also visit imz.com to and join a 21-day faith challenge. If you want to get inside of the Mental Gym for 21 days, it is scientifically proven that you can change and shift the way that you feel, the way that you think. Your mind and your faith will be strengthened. So you can go to imz.com and sign up for the 21-day Mental Gym challenge.
All right. Well, Zii, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, your story is always just inspiring and empowering. I love it. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you.
All right. And ladies, thank you for watching. Ladies, let's talk business, and we will talk again soon. Bye.